live broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first. Perfection, expect nothing else. Do you like to make yourself a hot cup of coffee to start your day? We have both whole bean and grounded. Also great for all you iced coffee if not a hot kind of person. Even make yourself a frappe to quench your thirst. The best tasting coffee with espresso. It's only $18.99 plus taxes for a 12-ounce bag. Buy 1 to 5 bags and shipping is only $7. If you spend over $100, shipping is absolutely free.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Halas Hall. Oh my God, I've covered Mike. There he is.
Yeah.
Welcome to Halas Hall. It's Victory Wednesday. Sorry for the late start, guys. I was on X and eating dinner. And you know how those two things combined can make you late for almost anything. But it's Victory Wednesday again for the third week in a row, 9th time in a row for a home game. Got to be feeling pretty good, Mike.
Yeah, it's there was a lot more Bears fans than Jaguar fans, even though they're really the home crowd, the home team. It was nice to see. Saw a lot of Ditkas.
Well, you know, yeah. The Bears don't have a history, though. I mean, we were one of the first teams to play in London, and that's when the fridge went over. And we got a lot of Bears fans from that, and they've never left the team. So, I mean, the Bears do have a big European fan base. When I was in Munich in 2019, they were selling stuff for 4 teams. The Bears, the Colts, the Patriots, and the Steelers. So go figure. Bears have, and what's funny about that in Munich is they have a partnership with Kansas City, and they were selling their stuff shop. Yeah, they have a partnership with the Bayern Munich has a partnership with the Kansas City Chiefs. But yeah, it was great to go over there and get a win. On JB show roundtable, which after this, they're all saying, "Oh, the Bears are going to lose because Jacksonville wins games in in London." It's like they were 5-4. Now they're 5-5. I mean, a bad team.
Yeah, I heard the same. I heard the same exact thing. Bears are going to get their butts kicked.
And now that we whooped their ass, and we did whoop their ass, those same people are coming. Well, you beat a 1-win team. I mean, you beat the easy. You just said they were going to whoop our ass. In fact, the last 2 weeks, you said that we were going to get our asses whooped because they were also taking Carolina, these idiots. And then we
we didn't just beat them. We beat the shit out of them, beat the brakes off their ass. But you know what? They say the same. They don't say the same thing about Jaden Daniels. He beaten teams that were under 500.
Well, and when I broke down factor number on the offensive line, coming into last week, we have a Woody. We got a Woody. Coming into last week,
this fucking computer.
Coming into last week, before the game, Washington's offensive line PFF wise had been better than the Bears, so that would explain why Daniels had more time to throw, had a couple earlier successes. Now we're coming to week 8, and lo and behold, my wife comes in yesterday and goes, "Hey babe, the game, it's not at 1:00 anymore now, it's at 4:25. We got flex." Like, we got flex. We're now there. I immediately looked at it. We're the Fox game of the week. They flexed the game. Thank God they didn't flex it to Sunday Night Football. Because that would have been. But
Yeah, because
I would have been okay with that.
It was Bengals and who? They got flexed. They got pushed back. For the Bengals and somebody else.
yeah, I can't. Who is the? Did they flip? They push back. They moved a couple.
The Bengals.
But Woody, for me to be the Sunday night game, I mean, I'd like it, but I got to fly the next day. So, that would have been problematic on my personal level. Who's got Cowboys Niners?
Eagles and Bengals got moved up to 1 p.m.
Yeah, and Cowboys Niners are the Sunday Night Football. They're not moving that thing for nothing. It's like moving Packers Bears. So, but we got flexed to the game of the NFC game of the week, which means I guess now we get Tom Brady calling for those who will be watching it at home. So luckily I'll be there. I won't have to hear Brady call the game. But we get flexed. And when you think about it, the offensive line is doing what we said they need to do, I think, guys, right? We said coming into the stretch they need to start playing better. I would argue that is the case. Woody, would you agree with that?
What's that, bud? I'm sorry. I was trying to figure this out.
That the O-line has been playing better over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, because if our O-line wasn't better, then Swift would be doing shit. And Caleb wouldn't have time. So yeah, it's definitely a lot better.
Did you see that pocket on the touchdown throw to was it Keenan?
Did you see that? Did you see that catch by Keenan? Like nobody would have caught that back shoulder throw.
Yeah.
Nobody. My God. So that was throw and the catch, obviously.
Is that kind of why you said what you said this morning, Woody?
Yeah, I mean, it's oh man. I wish I would have known what Justin Fields would have been like with this firepower we had on the team. And then I can make my judgment. But obviously he's not on the team no more, so I got to make the judgment for Caleb. So, yes, he's getting under my skin a little bit, but not totally. Like I said this morning, it all depends on those last 6 to 8 weeks in the division. That's when they count. Then I'll tell you.
Hey, where's that tramp stamp?
Yeah, they're saying that you need to get a tramp stamp if you're going to get the test.
Yeah. It hurt. I just got done about an hour ago, but it felt good. Yeah, they want me to get a tramp stamp.
Approved?
You got CW right here on the neck.
I do not have a tramp stamp. I have a hoochie too.
Yeah.
But is the Caleb Williams
across their back?
Is Caleb Williams tattooed for Woody Jody approved or no?
Oh, I mean, it was just a finishing piece on my sleeve and stuff like that. But
he's got my face on his ass cheek.
Yeah, it says exit only. But it's we have a lot of body work on us and stuff like that, so we really don't say, hey, we approve. We're good with that anyway. She wants to put her ex-husband's face on her ass. Go ahead. That's fine. But
I have Woody's handwriting on my arm.
Yeah. So, Matt, good evening, Matt. I wanted to know what happened to you in the fantasy with me last week. It was a close matchup and good game, man. That was came down to the wire. But yeah, like
I can answer for Matt. He was brought up in a middle class family.
Oh, jeez. And does he live in a coconut tree? So I mean, we play our schedules, guys. We're scheduled as weak up to the bye week. No, I mean, no doubt about it. We didn't play a team probably except for Houston over 500, but with the division, obviously, Matt, but good game. Good week. In our division, it's 17 combined wins. Clearly the best division in the league. Clearly. Obviously,
and top 4 point differentials, too.
Yeah. Minnesota, obviously, the biggest surprise in the whole NFL. So, that's going to be, like I said, we were talking the predictions before the year started. Didn't we all say we'd sweep Minnesota? So
yeah, we did. Now, I don't know if we will.
yeah, I do not know.
You know,
So we'll see.
however,
I'll make my decision at the end of the year.
however, though, I'll say this about Minnesota, because I don't want to spend too much time on the rival, and they do have, and look at, they do have a war week this week. They're playing the Lions, who, by the way, not only lost touch, but lost their other defensive ends. So they've lost both starting defensive ends. They're coming in against a Minnesota team who just had a bye week, who has not had to play from a deficit this season, really. They haven't faced, any consternation, really, like where Darnold had to feel like he had to do something, right? They've been able to play comfortably this whole season, which speaks a lot for the defense there in Minnesota, which would be good. I don't think the Lions have a shot against Minnesota this week because their defense now, you lose, just because they lost touch, they lost their other edge, so now they're on backup, which obviously aren't as good as starters. Next man up, we're like, great. That's nice to say, but the reality is they're not as good, right? Or they would have been starting.
Right, and we'll see about Aaron Jones and stuff. They just trade for Cam Akers.
Yeah,
like yesterday or today. I think it's going to be closer than people think.
I mean, that defense is the front four for them probably won't get much pressure for Detroit. Because now the interior guys don't get the luxury of having double teams on their edges, right? That luxury just went away. Everyone's going to be able to single cover ups. They can scheme the offensive line better. They'll max, grit protection for Donald probably the whole game. I doubt if Donald even gets sacked, right? I mean, so that's not good for the Lions, right? So the Vikings are going to keep rolling past this week. They'll be 6-0 probably. And the only reason I bring this up is when we talk about the Vikings, by the time we get them in week 12, right, will they have faced a defense where they've had an adversary that put them behind and Darnold had to do things? And Darnold had to feel that mental pressure of, I have to make this happen or we're not winning this game, because he hasn't had to do that yet. And if they lose a game like that, is he able to come back, or does he revert back to New York Jets Darnold? You see what I'm saying?
Well, Darnold has been throwing interceptions, but they're overcoming it. You got to think the Bears had to come back. All their win, every game they were down, they were losing every game.
Nice.
And last year, the Bears were number one on first drive scores.
Yep,
in the first quarter. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hard to. That's why there's been a lot of surprises this year. So
Woody,
I don't know.
That's interesting though, because it's not just the offense that starts slow this year. The defense is terrible in the first quarter. Look at the games. The defense has not been good in the first quarter of games. Sometimes the entire first half, and then all of a sudden they just flick a switch, say lock it down. And the last 2 weeks, it's been the first quarter, and then the offense gets going, then the defense locks it down. Right? I mean, because the defense was, look at that first drive, you're like, oh, crap. Maybe these guys are right to take a jag. I mean,
what else they're doing is that what they were doing lack of the last couple of years is making those second half adjustments.
Well, that's what we're doing well.
Absolutely. Right? Compared to the last few years, yes, definitely.
I mean, Mike, here's the interesting thing, right? Let me know if you see it the same way. Last year with Getsy, terrible adjustment, but the script plays were obviously good. This year, our script plays, which we weren't doing, I guess, to start, but now we've started to do the last two games. Still not really good, but the adjustments are great. Is that a fair assessment of this team?
That's a fair assessment. It seems like Waldron is expanding the playbook. We're not seeing screen after screen like we did earlier in the season. And it helps with the team. The captains riled together and told Waldron we need to be coached harder. Let's expand this playbook. Let's get the script going. And it's working out.
Mike, look at the double fake touchdown to
that was. You know what? And the offense, if our offensive line wasn't getting better, that play would have never fucking worked. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Amazing play.
I wonder if that would work against like an elite defense, though.
Well, I mean,
that's my worry.
Tennessee, we didn't have any really trick plays. Our defense won that game all the way.
Yeah.
But according to last week, Tennessee had the best defense.
Yeah.
They got exposed this week, but it's so that win is even looking even better.
I think Mike, to answer your question, as long as the offensive line is protecting, yeah, we could use that play against anyone. Because I mean, you could say the same thing about the Lions and that beautiful trick play they ran in Dallas, right? The triple reverse throw to Laporta for that touchdown. That doesn't work if you have a crap O line. It worked because Dallas is ineffectual at rushing the quarterback, and so they had the time to run that.
Yeah, I'm still seeing the Braxton Jones getting blown up a few times. Just like, and I noticed that Nate Davis was inactive. I didn't know that. He wasn't dressed.
Since we've made the change at right guard, the center and the right guard position has solidified. The tackles got played much better since we fixed that. Tevin Jenkins, when he's on the field, he's one of the best in the NFL right now. Jones is one of the best in the NFL right now. Has moments of that, not overall. But the last couple of weeks, they're starting to. And here's the big thing: they're not catching flags. You notice that when Nate Davis isn't in the lineup, we're not catching stupid flags anymore because guys aren't having to try to compensate for it.
Well, when he was benched, when Tevin Jenkins got hurt and he came in, that offensive line got a lot better. Swift started opening up.
By that point,
it helps to have a quarterback that gets that ball out on time.
But he averaged like what, 2.4 seconds last week.
2.1, 2.2, 2.4. He was in that range. And what's even more interesting about Caleb is they were looking at the graph of first look passes. Guess who leads the league in first look passes? Jaden Daniels throws his first target more than any quarterback in the league. Caleb is down around is like way down in the pack. He's usually getting his second, third read. He's one of the lower guys on the end. So he's scanning the field more than Daniels. It's a stat that we're starting to be able to see now that we have 6 games under the belt for most teams. 5, 6 is like how many guys are first read and throw? How many guys are going, it's not there, go to second, go to third, come back to the first. That stat line is becoming more apparent. So not only is he getting rid of the ball fast, he's not necessarily going to his first read in 2.1 or less. He's looking at first, second, third reads and letting the ball go.
Yeah, you can see him scanning left to right and then coming back to the left. And here's the thing, he's throwing guys open. When do we see that with Justin? He's waiting for somebody to get open. Trubisky was the same way.
I think there's a difference between Caleb in week 1 and 2 versus Caleb now. Because week 1 or 2 is a little bit of trying to, okay, the guy's not open, don't throw him open. I think now he's comfortable finally. And now he's made that adjustment himself. And we're seeing the things out of him that we never saw out of Caleb, never saw out of Mitch, never saw out of Rex. Right? We saw it out of Butler, right, at times. But what he doesn't do that Cutler did, he doesn't force it.
Right. And his accuracy is getting better. He's still having his rookie troubles. We saw that deep pass to DJ. Too much air underneath that ball.
Yeah.
As soon as he let go, I was like, that's a lot of air on that ball.
Yeah, he knew it though too. He was mad at himself.
He was fucking open.
He throws it to the pylon like a dart.
Yeah.
That's a touchdown.
But you know what though I like about Caleb though? You don't see him making the same mistake more than once or twice. Like
he actually has legs too. I mean, he has like one of those white man cuts, but he's still getting the first downs. He's cutting and sliding. That's important as well.
Hey, not to pat myself on the back, But didn't I say last week they should do some design runs for Williams? And they did
Yeah.
start the game.
Yeah, I thought they would have.
What
5 or
I was
6.
happy to see when the pocket closed and he had 3 defenders on him. In the beginning, in the first game, he would have just ran it out of bounds or just thrown it away out of bounds. He saw Komet break off really late, came across his body, tossed it to him. Like in the beginning of the season, he would have never done that.
Yeah, Matt, I agree with you. I think we should see the tramp stamp that Woody has of Caleb. And I also agree that the Lions fans are overly sensitive, as we saw this morning. Because that team, dude, I would not be surprised if they don't make a big splash. And let's say Hassan Reddick, and we'll get to Hassan Reddick for the Bears in a minute. I think the Lions have to be all over Hassan Reddick if they have any designs at making the playoffs with this defense, because if they've lost their top 2 pass rushers, you can't go with second and third tier guys and make the playoffs in this division. You've got to replace them. And Hassan is older, but he's still effective, and you can give him a contract, an extension for 2 or 3 years that you can be comfortable with, where you can exit it after 2 years. And now next year you'd have Hassan Reddick and Hutch. Now, conversely, for the Bears, if we had Hassan Reddick, I mean, we do get better, right? But
yes,
do we do it?
No.
Sarah, let me see yours first.
Wait, asking me when's the trade deadline? It's after week 8, right?
Okay, yeah.
On the 5th, yeah. On election day.
We only add somebody to that if we're one piece away.
That's what That's what I was saying today for Detroit.
So we don't do that now.
So right now, all the teams minus Minnesota, right? They're 5-0 off. Everyone else is 4-2 with a 66 or 67% chance of making the playoffs per the stupid stat sheet, right? Yep. So some of these teams, okay, I think Minnesota will win this week. Green Bay, who's Green Bay play?
Texans.
The Texans, they could possibly lose that game. That could be an interesting game. So let's say Green Bay loses. Let's say the Lions lose. Now they're 4-3. And we have 6-0, 4-3, 4-3, 4-2. You're not going to tell me that someone's not going to make a jump? I mean, and let's say the following week, let's say we all win. So now you got 5-2 and then 5-3. Everyone's in it.
Well, we're the only ones that win because Lions or the Vikings are going to win.
But let's say go week 8. Let's just say all 4 teams win.
I think Texans pull one out too. I know. I think that game's in Green Bay as well, right?
Yeah, it's in Green Bay.
It is in Green Bay.
Yeah. So that's gonna be fucking tough for them. But Houston is beatable. Ask Minnesota. Yeah. And they barely beat us. They go fuck
beat
themselves.
Us by 6, yeah. So, fuck Colin Cowherd saying we got our asses kicked by the Texans.
Who did?
Colin Cowherd.
Yeah, but now Cowherd's singing our praises, so But I mean, that's the question.
Fuck
Let's
them.
say the Lions and the Packers both lose this week, and then in week 8, let's say the division wins. So then you'd have 7-0, 5-2, 5-3, 5-3. Okay, that's 4 playoff teams. 4 teams in the hunt for the playoffs. And the trade deadline's now, so you have to make the decision now. So, barring adding, let's say, another offensive lineman, and Hassan Reddick's available, and oh, by the way, we've got an extra second-round pick we can throw away. Not Carolina's, ours. Do you maybe offer that for Reddick and sign him, and now you've got Sweat and Reddick for the next 2 years? You got Booker and the other guy we signed for sales. He's been playing phenomenal, right? Now you've got a real strong 4-man rotation on the edges.
Wow, I just seen that. That's interesting. Yeah, Ken, you brought it up this morning too. Cole Kmet, special teams player of the week.
First long snapper in NFL history to be the special teams player of the week. That is another fact, by the way.
Speaking of long snapper, Poles signed a long snapper.
We signed one. The guys
Sarah, we were talking about this morning. Go tell JB how you feel, and he'll go off. Me and Ken agreed this morning. If I was the Detroit Lions right now and my best defensive lineman went down, I would get Hassan. Definitely.
It's not even that it's your best one went down. Your best one, your second best one, both went down. And your best one, oh, by the way, happens to be the best in the league right now.
Yeah.
And is the lifeblood of your defense. And now you've lost him and his number 2. And you're going to replace him with second and third level guys for cheap money?
Well, that's how Holmes is. Come on now.
You're in the window now. And we know the Lions have money they can spend. So
they got money and they got picks.
They are arrogant in that aspect, Sarah. You're right. I mean, because I'm thinking, like, for me, it's a no-brainer for them to go after Hassan Reddick. It's a no-brainer.
I agree.
For the Bears, it's a little more like, well, do we really need him? I mean, okay, now look at it. If we're going to re-sign Keenan and we think the offensive line is good and we don't mind giving up a second-round draft pick or a third, who knows what the Jets will take, why not be an embarrassment of defensive riches and have Reddick and Sweat the next 2 years to get
I would, Riddick would be an upgrade too, but our defense is not like they're sucking. You know what I mean? They're not sucking at all. Like last week, they were 7th. I don't know what they are, the rankings this week at all, but we were 7th in the league last week, even though we're playing mediocre teams. But
we find out
the weeks with the week 8 trade deadline, I don't see Riddick going to Chicago.
No,
I don't.
I don't think we do.
Right now, our defense is now ranked. Oh, well, here's the new ranking.
If any, go ahead.
Via PFF, hold on, Mike. Let me get this out.
Go ahead.
I'll give you the new stats. All right, so NFC North record 4-2, points scored 148. That's 11th in the league. Points allowed 101. That's 7th in the league. Overall, we're now 12th. Our offense is now ranked 22nd, so we moved up. I think we were 25 or 27 the week before. Defense is now 3rd. Special teams is 25th, even with the exceptional play of long snapper Fulton. All right, go ahead.
So we're 3rd total defense?
Yeah.
Who's ahead of us? Jets and Tennessee?
I don't know, because I just break it down. I just went to the team page.
Okay.
It's not a list. I'm sure there's one somewhere if I can figure it out.
3rd, I'd take 3rd. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't see us going out on the trade deadline getting any defensive player unless, God forbid, somebody gets injured before then.
Yep. I think Pulse will go after O-line before we go after another edge.
I mean, we do have Herbert for trade bait. Which team out there needs a running back for now?
Yeah, we got Herbert.
Minnesota, but we're not going to trade to Minnesota. Sorry.
You got Bayless. You got, another person that's been disappointing. Zach Pickens has not developed.
But he's been hurt.
And Mike, I know you don't like Bayless, but I don't think they're going to give up on Bayless.
He's not even a jag. He's a nag. He's not even a guy. He's not even just a guy. He's not even playing.
Bayless, so I don't think they're going to give up on him. I think that they see him as something.
If they're not giving up on him, then why is he not playing? Because he's going to cost us a fucking game. That's why.
No, I don't.
Why keep a guy like that?
I think right now they want to use him as a running back, and he is electric when he has the ball. And unless they get the right price, I think they want a second. They want at least a 3rd rounder for him. I think.
How many games?
I understand where you're at. I think they look at Bayless as a guy they can keep around who's cheap, but can be electric if they need it. You know what I'm saying? Whereas
he can't be electric if he's not even dressed.
Yeah, but that's just it. We got him on the active roster, so no one else can poach him. And
I'd rather trade him and Herbert in a package and get an O-lineman.
See, but I think they'd rather trade Herbert because Herbert's going to be more expensive to retain.
Yeah. See, I actually think they're going to hang on to Herbert.
They may. I don't know.
I'm thinking because I hate to say this. I think one of our guys is going to go down.
Well, I mean,
I think that's why they're hanging on to him.
That's the thing too. That's the other thing where I agree. We could both be right on this because what great insurance the Bears have right now by having those two guys around. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we have an embarrassment of riches at the running back position with those four, right? Because Bayless, when he's as a running back, has been great. He's just not better than Roschon. He's not better than DeAndre Swift. But if we had to go to Bayless and Herbert, I think we'd be okay. It wouldn't be as good, but we'd be okay.
I still keep Bayless on that damn bench.
I
don't
really
trust his hands.
I think if Wheeler didn't get hurt, he would have made this team. Or I think Herbert would have probably.
If Swift and Roschon got hurt, it's going to be Herbert and Homer.
Cowgirls need a running back, Sarah. You're correct, but Jerry Jones said that they probably would not be doing anything at all.
Nope.
Coming to the trade deadline. So, and look, if I'm the Cowgirls, do I really want to do anything? I mean, I just spent a shitload of money. I can't really afford another 1-year rental that I'm going to have to pay next year because I don't have anything to pay them. And I've got all this talent that's not winning. It just sounds like to me this is the McCarthy farewell tour. And at the end of the season, the entire coaching staff is going to get axed. And Jerry's just going to bring in all new coaches for next year and make very little player movement. I think that's where because Jerry's looking to see what I have talent. I'm paying all this money for this talent. Why aren't you producing with me? Why are you letting Detroit come into our house and straight up embarrass us by lining Sewell up as a wide receiver? I mean, the Lions straight up clowned him at home. Dude, they lined Sewell up as a wide receiver.
And Jerry Jones' birthday, too. What a present, right?
And Skipper lined up as a receiver, too. They straight clowned them at home. Cowboys aren't doing anything. They're standing pat. They're just waiting to fire their coach.
There was a reporter that asked Jerry Jones about going all in, and he's like, "Don't you ask me that again." That was hilarious. I'm sorry.
I wish I would have been that. I wish I would have been that reporter. Go fuck yourself. This is what
as much talent as they have and how much money they spent, that team is going down in flames.
So I mean, they're not going to sell. The Jags might be selling. There's some pieces that
they may sell Micah Parsons.
Well, they just traded their defensive lineman, Jaguars.
Yeah, I want to pick off one of their offensive linemen though. They got a couple.
Yeah, their right guard I think was it like a 5-time Pro Bowler?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind picking off one of those guys just for even if it's just for depth. At this point, to shore up that line.
I heard some chat about Miles Teller. I think that's his name.
Yeah, I think
that's his name Teller.
Too. So, and I wouldn't be surprised in a way. I would rather the Bears, if they're going to be buy this week. So we have a whole week with them. They can play in that in week 8. You're on your bye week. That's the perfect week to make the trade because you're in the bye week, right? Make the trade now.
Yes, correct. You do the trade now. Get the lineman. Get him on the playbook. Get some.
Wednesday. I mean, if you make the trade tomorrow, they can at least be here for practice Friday, Saturday, and have the whole weekend to learn the book, and then have a whole week of normal practice going into the Washington Commanders game.
Yep.
I mean that's the best. We got a great opportunity right now in that direction, and I think like with the Jags, they're just waiting to get home to fire their head coach. Like Khan's not going to fire him while they're in home. He'll wait till they get home. They get off, especially if they lose this week, they're fired. He's fired.
Yeah.
That'll suck because Doug Peterson's a good coach.
Yeah, dude. They tanked the season out last year. And this year, we just embarrassed them in London.
I thought, honestly, they'd be going against Houston for that division.
Yeah.
A lot of people did.
So it's Houston, Indy, Jacksonville. Who's the 4th team?
For what?
Texas,
AFC South. Tennessee. So that's a horrible division. Houston's the only good team.
Yeah.
Well, Tennessee's not bad. They just can't win. They have the problem of no quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean that's another thing about Caleb. Like, we have a great defense, but we have a good enough quarterback that he's not costing this game.
That's another team that might be selling. Tennessee.
They might.
If I'm D-Hop, I want out of there.
So
He
D-Hop.
ain't got much time left.
So now that we had 2 receivers moved today in the last 48 hours. People were talking about D-Hop. They said the Titans aren't ready to move D-Hop yet. Yeah, the Titans.
That
I
just
don't
means
think they're making any moves
we
on
won a
defense.
lot.
I don't think they'll make any moves on defense if they make moves to be like D-Hop, because they're they're to start fresh with receivers and quarterback next year. I don't think they'll trade much of their line.
Even Calvin Ridley's sick of there. He did an interview. He wants more catches. He doesn't get any looks.
Well, Levis. Look at Will Levis played great in the last year. This year he can't hit the broadside of ball with a spot-up shotgun from 5 feet away.
Right.
Yeah, he could hit Tyreek Stevenson on a shovel pass.
Yeah. That's the other thing.
Right.
I think the Bears, if they're buying, they're going to be looking for a corner too. Because look at last week, Stevenson out, Brisker out, and then Gordon went out.
Yep.
So they're going to be looking to shore up the back end. They're not that. And look at the guys that we had played great, right? They still played really good, but I think they wouldn't mind bringing in some more support there if they could.
They were serviceable. There was a lot of drop passes in the end zone,
and there were a couple
we got
that
so
Lawrence had a guy wide open and just
yeah we need some. The corner position needs to be established better. Even just a solid, decent 2 other guys. I think Terrell Smith, him being out hurt us too because he's pretty good.
You typically don't make more than 1 trade at the deadline, though. Typically, so I think for the Bears, they got to look and say, okay, what's the talent that's available, and what one piece that we're going to trade for is going to be the most impactful. And then the question becomes: is it an offensive lineman? Is it a DB? Or is it an edge rusher?
The offensive line, for sure.
Well, it depends on the talent of the offensive linemen that are available. Like, we don't know. As far as we know, Jacksonville's like, nope, we're not trading any of them. So, like, if you're, let's say you don't have an all-pro style, all-pro caliber lineman out there, Hassan Reddick might be the best player available that you could possibly go and trade for. Right? You're not going to trade or tight end.
I know if Jets trade Hassan, well, they're going to trade him, but Eagles get a second in return.
Who cares if the Eagles get it? The Eagles are going to get.
I know. I'm saying, what's it going to cost to get him though? Because there's going to be teams.
I bet maybe a third, but that's the thing. Like, we could probably outbid anyone with a second rounder because you've got an extra second rounder to burn. I don't think Detroit wants to go for the second rounder.
I would try to sell our second rounder and maybe like a sixth, a future sixth.
Our second rounder, I wouldn't get rid of Carolina.
Fuck it. Let's just sign back.
I'm gonna use that Carolina second round if I need to pull the trigger now. And see if I can get a deal with that.
Well, no, I want to keep Carolina. I'm gonna use ours first.
But I'm saying, like, if we need that piece, that's the piece we need.
Yeah, we got it.
Then you're gonna go pull the trigger.
Mike, I wanted to let you know Charles Leno Jr. is a free agent.
I don't need a speed bump.
How about you might as well sign Bakatari too? Maybe he'll,
We should have signed Connor Williams when we had the opportunity.
Bakhtiari's getting paid and not do anything.
Yeah, he's getting paid regardless.
But I mean, it's funny that no one signed Bakhtiari. I guess NFL teams didn't like his medical.
I heard he wants too much.
I think Trent Brown's a free agent too for the Bengals. I was hearing that too.
You think the Bengals are going to sell though?
I think T.
Higgins. Who knows? They're going down pretty fucking. They beat a weak Giants team last week, barely. They only won by.
Let's give some credit to the Giants defense. The Giants defense gave that team every opportunity to be competitive and win, and you really felt that you could tell that they were missing Malik Davis because that offense couldn't do anything without Davis. That Giants defense. Say what you will, but they're legit, and they really hampered Burrow. And that's a game that you think Cincinnati should have blown them out. But that defense, like in the first quarter, they had a guy with 3 sacks already. for the
Yeah,
Giants.
with neighbors out, Darius Slayton is their best fucking receiver they have.
I mean, that Giants defense though was
With the addition of Brian Burns, really helped.
Yeah, that defense is good. Their offense is just terrible. They're a quarterback away from being. They're like where the Bears were a year or two ago. When you think about
Who's that? Who's
need
that
a
rookie running back? Is that like some Tracy?
Tracy Jr. or
Yeah,
something?
apparently he had a great game. I didn't realize
Singletary's hurt. So
I mean, they've got some pieces in New York. I think their problem is Danny Dimes. They're figuring it out finally. For as gritty he tries to, and look at Danny Dimes tries to grit through it and do what he needs to do. He just doesn't have it.
They have an okay tight end. Bellinger's not too bad. It's like a Ferguson in Dallas. So
yeah, I think New York is just a quarterback away. They're kind of the same situation as a couple teams.
And Dayball's fighting for his job.
Maybe Baby Manning will go to the Giants next year in the draft.
Yeah, be in the draft next year. You might do one more year of college.
You can come out.
You can. I don't know if you will. I mean, if he can, then you know who's going to take him. Carolina, if they got the number 1 pick.
80 yards and a TD doesn't qualify as great. I don't know what he's talking about and who he's talking about. Please explain.
Which quarterback are you talking about there, Grabowski?
I didn't say anybody was great, so it wasn't me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's not. If we're talking about Danny Dimes, he's not great.
Oh no,
they're going to be looking to move from him.
And I think actually that saved Dayball's job because I mean, if you watch Hard Knocks preseason,
Bellinger sucks. Okay, I got you.
If you watch preseason, that was their main concern and they all right, we're stuck with him for this year.
Yeah.
So I think Dayball is safe. I think that he'll survive Danny Dimes. I think they'll move on from Danny Dimes if they can't win this year, and they'll say, all right, let's get our quarterback, and then Dayball is kind of on the clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tracy,
I can see that happening. I can see him convincing the GM, say, hey, give me a quarterback that I want.
Well, and I think though you saw that in their meetings that was on Hard Knocks, that it was just kind of like, well, they're trying to be upbeat, optimistic. They were kind of like, we're stuck with it. They couldn't move up in the draft. They tried to move up to get another quarterback. They couldn't. So they're resigned to the fact that they're stuck with Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was that was a bad contract from the fucking beginning. Oh, he's talking about you, Mike.
Oh, he's talking about me. About Tracy. Apparently, he had a great game.
Well, in terms of that,
good for him.
Offense,
for a rookie, yeah.
It's good for him with that fucking line.
I mean, he was probably the bright spot for that Giants offense.
Yep.
Because no neighbors, there's no passing game. So he was their only offense, really.
Anytime you get 80 yards as a rookie, a game, that's pretty damn good.
So speaking of rookies, are we surprised that? I mean, Rome had 2 catches in London?
2 catches for like 40 yards, something like that.
Are we surprised? I mean, and look, I mean, he spread the ball. Everyone got to touch it. What do you guys think about how we're spreading the ball out to these 3 receivers?
Well, I'm happy that they're including Komet, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 4 receivers.
We're seeing a lot less of Everett.
Keenan got 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
DJ Moore was kind of quiet. He almost had a touchdown.
He was only targeted like 4 times for 2 catches.
Caleb didn't throw as much this week.
What I like seeing out of Caleb, he's not getting the tunnel vision. So like Justin had with DJ all year long last season. He's spreading it everywhere.
Did we make the case, or did maybe Keenan Allen make the case as to why the Bears should re-sign him after this last week? Like, look, with me, I don't need the ball 8 times a game, but with me now on the field, being as good as I am, right, defenses are going to have a problem because it's either me or it's Rome or it's DJ. And by the way, the 3 of us are like best buds and love each other. So just give me a fair contract and I'll stay kind of thing. Is that where we're at with Keenan Allen right now, you think?
I think it all comes down to money.
Well, it comes money, sure. It's not saying fair
money,
contract.
and as Keenan, we're on track for Caleb to be the franchise guy. We're probably about 2 more years away to making Super Bowl contenders, right? I would say about 2 years away.
Maybe 1 year.
Maybe we'll see how the season goes.
Right.
There we go.
That just means he's going to be 1 year older, and he does have the injury issue.
So, right, but I mean, for everything he brings you on and off the field, sign him to a 2-year extension, or maybe the third out's a team-friendly out year. Well,
That's if he wants to stay.
That's what I'm saying. If he wants, I think
if he wants to stay,
like he wants to stay. I don't think he wants out. I mean,
if he wants to stay, yeah.
Happy.
If he wants to stay and the money's right, yeah, of course we keep him.
I think the draft is just going to be O-line heavy.
What I would like to see more of is I want to see the younger guys out there. Tyler Scott, we haven't seen him once really get out in the field, right? There's other guys who they're hindering some of the younger guys' ability to be playing.
So, like, we did see him, I think, in weeks 1 and 2 a little bit, but once again, I don't care about that. I want to win now. Right, and so we're not seeing Colvin Johnson, even though he came up in the practice squad. The game, we didn't see him. But we've got, that's what I'm saying, with those 3 guys, I don't really care as much, to be honest with you. I mean, there's still
no. I completely 100% agree. Like, they should, our starters need to be out there 70, 80% of the time. But I would like to see our younger guys get developed too, because we never know if somebody gets hurt. What if two guys get hurt? We're relying on Tyler Scott and Colin Johnson.
I mean, I get it. They're not getting the game time snaps, but they're getting practice. So there is some development happening there. It's not the same, but they're still being developed to a certain degree, are they not?
You can't get developed. You sit on the bench.
I don't see any NFL team out there is just going to throw young players out there to see how they do if there's an injury. I know what you're saying, but I'm
saying, like, I'm not saying during the whole game. During the end of that Jaguars game, right? It's garbage time. We still rustled our starters out there. We could.
They were out there for the last snap.
Tyson and those guys out to get some playing time.
Yeah, they went out to take the knee. That's what they did. I mean,
that's about it. That's not really.
I don't think that we've had that kind of game though, where we've had. I mean, maybe you could make the argument that they could have let Agent come in with those guys at maybe a drive earlier or something. I could see that. I mean, I guess there could be an argument made for that. Like, well, hey, why don't you bring those guys in and let them run a series? Run that series. I mean, I guess, but I mean, you might be able to make the argument for that out of the game at that point. I don't know. I mean, it was what 2-score game.
It was 35-16.
They could, I mean, you
like 3 minutes to go.
Agent the backups in, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't have. If you're running your players, your starters out like that,
but at the same time,
just for one fucking play at least. But I want to see our young guys develop.
I'd rather keep the starters out there and develop Caleb. Honestly.
Like, well, they're not. With a big lead like that, they're not going to be passing anyway.
No,
they were though. But they were. That's
the 4th and 3, we threw it.
Yeah, so I mean,
for first down.
I mean, so it's still worse. They're still developing. They're taking advantage of that situation to develop the Caleb more, build rapport with his receivers more. I mean, Tyler Scott's got game experience. I mean, these guys aren't rookies. They've got experience. They've been developed to a point. I get what you're saying, Mike, but for me, it's not. There's only one rookie I want to see be developed. 2 rookies I want to see be developed right now. Our 3rd-round pick offensive lineman and our 5th-round pick defensive edge. They're the only 2 outside the 1st-round pick that aren't starters I want to see develop for. And they are. Booker's getting more game time, right? He's getting more and more game time in the rotation.
Yeah, defensive side are the rookies are getting
the offensive lineman kid. He's getting a couple snaps here and there.
Gaji, whatever his name is.
Yeah, but it takes longer.
He's on special teams, right?
Yeah, and it takes longer for O-line guys to assimilate into the line. But he's starting to get some looks here and there. So I mean, but receivers and running backs, yeah, those guys are plug and play. When it's time for them to step up, they're getting in practice. They're getting practice reps. I don't care if Tyler Scott doesn't play another down all season. If he doesn't play another down all season, that means things are good.
Well, you could
Right?
try him out as kick return, punt returner.
Well, no, because we got Carter. DeAndre Carter, that's his.
Yeah, we got Carter and Khalil Herbert doing returns.
Yeah, so I mean, that's
Why
what I'm
not
saying.
throw
I'm not just,
Tyler Scott?
If
He's got the
those two
speed.
are working, why am I going to throw Travis Scott out there? Not Travis Scott. He hasn't played drums for Blink-182.
Yeah, Travis Scott does not play for the Bears.
Oh, you're talking about Travis Homer.
Yeah, Travis Homer. Why am I going to throw Homer or Scott out there, though? Why would I throw Homer or Scott out there if the other two guys are already working? I mean, I'm sure these guys are getting looks at practice, but the game, I don't need to see what they look like at this point. Unless someone gets injured, then I have no choice. No show for you, Caleb. Oh, you're being called a Caleb. Rob's calling you a Caleb cultist now.
Cultist.
Well, first of all, he needs to spell. It's not U is YOU. First of all, and what are you talking about, Robert? You saying Caleb is good?
So
crickets.
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 It's a delay for him. He's got about 30 seconds delay. He's actually got a type, which he's going to have typos, so he's got to correct it. So you got to give him about a minute and a half after you say it.
And by the way, Robert, I can be wrong about one thing. You know what I'm saying? But
so real quick, we got a little bit of time left. Let's talk Hassan Reddick really quick. I know we touched base on it a little bit. Do you think Hassan Reddick gets traded by Sunday?
I'm going to go out on a limb. I sold out my ass. And what is with the @ button? This is at robert.com. I can't pinpoint a team, but if I was any team, it'd probably be Detroit. But I can see him in Baltimore as well. So more towards Detroit, but I'm not saying totally.
I don't think he's traded. I think Detroit's going to see what they do against the Vikings, but I don't think Reddick will go there.
So you think
I think they're going to use a first and second go after like Myles Garrett.
So you think? Well, I don't even know if Myles Garrett is for sale yet. There's an indication.
You just got rid of Amari Cooper. They're going to start selling.
Cooper was on the outs there with the fan base and everyone else. Anyways, Myles Garrett isn't. And they've already said that they weren't shopping him, but that could change. So, but more to the point, it sounds like you both agree that no one's really going to do anything this week with this situation. That's to wait and see what happens this weekend before we try to get Hassan Reddick or make him or maybe see if Myles Garrett becomes available if they Cleveland loses and they decide to fire sale the team.
Yeah, there's going to be teams that are going when they lose, like if Tennessee loses, Jaguars lose again. If they start losing, they're going to start selling. Getting ready for the draft.
But there's a paradigm shift in the NFL that Ryan Poles kind of started.
Yeah,
the Bears were buyers when they should have been. Back in the day, we would have been sellers the last couple of years. Yet we were buyers.
Yeah, right? Jaguars. 2 days ago, they traded Roy Robinson Harris to the Seahawks for just a 6th-round pick. So.
Yeah,
right there, Jaguars they're about to sell out.
That's not well. I mean, yeah, the impactful pieces are still there. Are they? They could. You might get surprised that they could be buyers on defense. The Jags might make a run for Hassan Reddick, right?
They're not going to buy for. They just have injuries on defense.
Well, they've got a coaching issue there, obviously, though too.
Oh, they definitely have a coaching issue.
So I mean, that's something we need to think about.
Because Trevor didn't play that bad at all. He didn't play that bad. There was like I said, there was a lot of drop passes in the end zone.
I mean, I could see Reddick win. Yeah, Tampa's another destination you could go to. Chicago's is a destination, but then there's some teams that we may think or San Francisco could be a team you could go to. And then I know that Kansas City is interested in them.
Atlanta needs another edge rusher.
I mean, so there are some teams, and then there's some teams that we may think are going to be sellers that might be buyers. Last year, when the Bears made the trade for Sweat, people outside Chicago thought we were going to be sellers that we weren't buying, yet we went out and bought. When we traded for Mapletron, which, okay, that was the one Poles move that really hasn't worked. People didn't think we'd be buying, but we bought, right? So, I mean, there could be some sellers that may actually be buying. But hey, be with us Sunday at 11, no Bears game, but we will be on Halas Hall Report. Pregame at 11 a.m. Don't forget 10 in the morning every day at 10 o'clock in the morning Central. Who knows? We might have a Woody on. We don't know.
Where, when, and where?
Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central.
Oh, I got to work. Sorry, guys.
Don't forget,
I'll be in the comments.
Right after us will be the roundtable with JB and a host of about 18 other guys trying to predict this week's scores.
And Ken, let them get a word in tomorrow, please.
Yeah, you know. So everyone, enjoy the week. We'll see you guys Sunday. Bear down, and let's see what we do here. Keep the ears around. Have a good night, everyone.
Bear down.
Good night.
Bear down.
Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and Maniacs. The nightly podcasts are Halas Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails.